everybody? Welcome to another episode of Rob's World of Boxing. Let's get it. Alright, I want to get into this fight night preview video. The fights that's taking place over the weekend of September 23rd and September 24th. That's what's that, Friday and Saturday. We got a couple fights, a couple different fight cards. The fight card I'm going to talk about first is going to be transpiring Friday, September 23rd. It's in Newark, New Jersey. It's the ESPN Plus card. ESPN Plus is Bob Arum, Top Rank, all those guys. It's for the WBC, WBO, junior lightweight titles of the world. Junior lightweight is 130 pounds. If you didn't know, the main event is going to be between Shakur Stevenson and Robson Conceicao. All right, it's going to come on at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. 10 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a homecoming fight for Shakur Stevenson. He's from Newark, New Jersey. All right, let's jump into it. The main event is a 12-round contest at junior lightweight, as I just stated. Junior lightweight is 130 pounds. If you didn't know, it's between Shakur Stevenson and Robson Conceicao. Shakur Stevenson is 18-0 with 9 KOs, 25 years of age. He's a southpaw. He stands at 5'7" with a 68-inch reach from Newark, New Jersey. His last fight was a unanimous decision win versus Oscar Valdez, when Valdez was 30-0, and that fight transpired April of this year, 2022. A key opponent Shakur Stevenson has on his record is Jamel Herring. When Jamel Herring was 23-2, Shakur Stevenson scored a 10th round KO win versus Jamel Herring, putting a statement on, man. He was beating the hell out of Jamel Herring, and he also got his first belt at 130 pounds, that night versus Jamel Herring. So, yeah, man, I'll say that was a key opponent, man. And after that fight, he went on to beat, Oscar Valdez and get his other belt, 2-belt champion at 130 right now, man. He can get the other two too, man, but they don't want no smoke with him. I know the other Hector Garcia got a belt, and I forget who got the other belt at 130, but I know they both don't want no smoke with my guy. But then again, Hector Garcia, man, he's been surprising a lot of people, man. But Chris Cobras, no Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson, he's a 2016 U.S. Olympian, silver medalist. Yeah, man, he's one of the best young fighters in boxing today, man. If not the best fighter in boxing today, man. He's my favorite fucking fighter, man. Shakur Stevenson, man. All right, let's get to his opponent, Robson Conceicao. Robson Conceicao is 17-1 with 8 KOs. He's 33 years of age. He's an orthodox style fighter. He stands at 5'10.5" with a 70-inch reach from Brazil. His last fight was a unanimous decision win versus Xavier Martinez, when Martinez was 17-0. And that fight transpired January of 2022, this year. A key opponent he has was his only loss was against Oscar Valdez, when Valdez was 29-0. It was a unanimous decision loss versus Valdez, and a lot of people actually thought Conceicao won that fight. I feel like Valdez won, but a lot of other people feel like Conceicao won that fight, and he got robbed. Yeah, you can make an argument for it, man, but a loss is a loss. But he's been looking good after that fight, with Valdez, man. And I see how he looks against, the top 130-pounder, man, in my opinion. As I just stated, man, he's the fucking truth, Shakur Stevenson. I feel like Shakur Stevenson going to make an easy worker, quick prediction, make easy work of Robson Conceicao. That's why they put him in his homecoming fight, so he can make easy work of him, in my opinion. And he's going to oblige and get him out of there. I say he's going to show some power. He's going to be on the front foot this fight. I say 6-round KO for my man, Shakur Stevenson. Pause, too. All right, let's get to the undercard. The first fight I want to talk about on his undercard is a 8-round contest at lightweight. Lightweight is 135 pounds. If you didn't know, it's between Keyshawn Davis and Omar Biana. Keyshawn Davis is 5-0 with 4 KOs, 23 years of age. He's an orthodox style fighter. He stands at 5'9" with a 70-inch reach from Norfolk, Virginia. His last fight was a 6-round TKO win versus Espn Sanchez when Sanchez was 18-1, and that fight transpired April of 2022. Keyshawn Davis has no key opposition as of yet. That's to be expected early on in his career, but they're moving him along pretty goddamn fast. As I just stated, his last fight was he was 4-0 facing a guy 18-1 who wasn't a slouch. This fight he's 5-0 facing a guy who's 25-5. So you can say his whole fucking career has been key opponents, but none to note as of this moment in his career. Being honest, like name opponents, he has none. All right, Keyshawn Davis is a 2020 U.S. silver medalist. All right, let's get into his opponent, Omar Biana. Bihana is 25-5 with 18 KOs, 34 years of age. He's an orthodox style fighter. He stands at 5'7" with a 71-inch reach. He's from Mexico. His last fight was a 3rd-round corner stoppage win versus Elude Gonzalez, who was 12-32. God damn, a tomato can cab driver. And that fight transpired January of 22, January this year. Key opponents for Omar Bihana, I'll say, was a unanimous decision loss versus Gio Santalene when Santalene was 20-0. Santalene is a pretty, interesting prospect. He's coming along pretty well. I think he's like 26-0 now. He's out of San Diego. And that fight transpired February of 2017. All right. Let's get to the next undercard fight. I feel like, quick prediction, I feel like Keyshawn Davis is going to beat the hell out of that guy, Bihana, get him out of there. What's the Bihana? Oh, yeah, he going to beat the hell out of that guy, man. I said about first, second round knockout, man, for Keyshawn Davis. All right, the next undercard fight I want to get into is a 6-round contest at featherweight. Featherweight is 126 pounds, if you didn't know. It's between Bruce Shushu Carrington and Jose Orgel. Bruce Shushu Carrington is 4-0 with 3 KOs, 25 years of age. He's an orthodox style fighter. He stands at 5'8" with a 72-inch reach. He's from Brooklyn, New York. His last fight was a 6-round TKO versus Adrian Granados, who was 3-2-1 at the time they clashed, June of 2022. Bruce Shushu Carrington, he has no key opposition as of the moment in his young career, but he is a nice young prospect who could be the next champion out of Brooklyn, New York, man. All right, let's get to his opponent, Jose Orgel. Jose Orgel was 9-4 with 3 KOs, 28 years of age. He's an orthodox style fighter. He stands at 5'6". He's from Puerto Rico. His last fight was a 2nd-round KO win versus Anil Munez, who was 18-22. And that fight transpired August of this last month, 2022. All right, Jose Orgel, I was looking at his record for key opposition, and I noticed he faced 3 undefeated prospects in a row, but he lost all 3. Yeah. So, basically, he like a stepping stone. Yeah, Bruce Shushu Carrington probably going to step on this guy. I don't see him tripping over this guy and put his 5th loss on Orgel. And he's going to continue his winning ways and get his 5th win, in my opinion. I say a KO win for Bruce Shushu Carrington early on in the fight. All right, let's get into the next undercard fight I want to talk about. It's a 6-round contest at welterweight. Welterweight is 147 pounds, if you didn't know. It's between Jihad Tucker and Jose Sanchez. Jihad Tucker is 8-0 with 5 KOs, 19 years of age. He's orthodox style fighter, stands at 5'11" with a 68-inch reach from Queens, New York. His last fight was a 4th-round TKO win versus DeAndre Smith when DeAndre Smith was 11-1. And that fight transpired June of 2022. Jihad Tucker has no key opposition as of the moment. All right, his opponent, Jose Sanchez. Jose Sanchez is 11-2 with 1 draw, 4 KOs. He's an orthodox style fighter. He stands at 5'7". He's from Albuquerque, New Mexico. His last fight was a unanimous decision loss versus Xander Zayas when Zayas was 9-0. And that fight transpired September of 2021. I was looking on his record for key opposition. I came across Adrian Granados. he scored his draw with Adrian Granados, surprisingly. And Granados has, fought the who's who at welterweight, man, from Adrian Broner to, other people, man. And he scored a draw with Granados. And Granados was 21-8-2, so the back end of Granados' career, I guess. And that fight transpired May of 2021. I feel like Jihad Tucker is going to make easy work of Jose Sanchez and get him out of there pretty easily, man. I like Jihad Tucker. He's nice. All right, let's get into the next fight I want to talk about on the undercard. It's an 8-round contest of junior lightweight. Junior lightweight is 130 pounds. If you didn't know, it's between Henry LeBron and Andy Vences. Henry LeBron is 16-0 with 10 KOs, 25 years of age. He's a southpaw. He stands at 5'6" with a 68-inch reach. He's from Puerto Rico, His last fight was a unanimous decision win versus Luis LeBron. When LeBron was 18-3, Luis being in a battle of the LeBrons. That fight transpired June of 2022. Henry LeBron has no key opposition at the moment. Luis LeBron has been the best person Henry LeBron faced as of the moment. All right, let's get into his opponent, Andy Vences. Andy Vences is 23-3 with 1 draw, 12 KOs. He's an orthodox style fighter. He stands at 5'8.5" with a 72-inch reach from San Jose, California, up here with us, the Bay, man. He's gonna probably get his ass beat. Damn. All right. His last fight was a majority decision loss versus Uno Carroll when Carroll was 19-2 for 1 draw, and that fight transpired September of 2021. Andy Vences has no key opposition. Just a little water. Get a little water. All right. The next fight I want to talk about on undercard. I ain't gonna really even talk about it, but the next fight that's on the undercard is a 4-round contest of welterweight. Welterweight is 147 pounds. If you didn't know, it's a rematch between Antoine Cobb and Jalen Phillips. Antoine Cobb was supposed to beat Jalen Phillips pretty easy, a couple months back, but he drew with him, man. So I guess they saying, hey, you can't move forward unless you beat this nigga. So, hey, you fighting him again, and that's what they doing, man, doing it again. All right, but I ain't gonna talk too much because I ain't really got too much faith in Antoine Cobb, and Jalen Phillips already 1-2. So we ain't gonna talk too much about him either. Antoine Cobb's 1-0 if I didn't tell you with that 1 draw. All right, let's get to the next fight I want to talk about. It's a 6-round contest of junior featherweight. Junior featherweight is 122 pounds. If you did know, it's between Floyd Diaz and Eduardo Diego. Floyd Diaz is 6-0 with 2 KOs. He's 19 years of age. He's an orthodox style fighter. He stands at 5'5" with a 64-inch reach. He's from Las Vegas, Nevada. His last fight was a 3rd-round KO win versus Pedro Saloom when Saloom was 3-0 with 1 draw, and that fight transpired July of 2022. All right, let's get into his opponent, Eduardo Diego. He's 3-0 with 2 KOs. Orthodox style fighter, stands at 5'6" with a 69.5-inch reach. He's from Brazil. His last fight was a 2nd-round KO win versus Gustavo Silva when Silva was, what's that, 5-8? Oh, my God. I hope that say 15. If it's 5-8, he a tomato can cab driver, though, I'll tell you that. All right, and that fight transpired July of 2021. Eduardo Diego has no key opposition at the moment. Floyd Diaz is going to be his key opposition, and I'm pretty sure Floyd Diaz is going to beat the hell out of Eduardo Diego. I fuck with Floyd Diaz. I don't know if he still got his job at the Foot Locker, but he did his last fight, and he was putting hands and feet on the last guy. So I presume he'll do the same to Eduardo. All right, let's get to the next fight I want to talk about. It's a 6-round contest of lightweight. Lightweight is 135 pounds. If you didn't know, it's between Armani Almastica and Omar Arita. Armani Almastica is 6-0 with 6 KOs, 21 years of age. He's a southpaw. He stands at 5'8" with a 67-inch reach. He's from Orlando, Florida. His last fight was a 6-round TKO win versus Eliso Vitalipos. Yeah, I butchered that shit, whatever it is. He was 2-2, and that fight transpired June of this year, 2022. All right, let's get into his opponent, Omar Arita. He's 3-1 with 1 draw, 2 KOs. He's 18 years of age. He's an orthodox style fighter. He stands at 5'4". He's from Tyler, Texas. His last fight was a 1st-round TKO win versus Granados, who was 1-0 with one draw, and that fight transpired November of 2021. Omar Biana has no key opposition. All right, yeah, man, that's that card. It's a pretty good card, as ESPN does put on good cards with great young prospects, man. Who's the future of boxing, man. We got some dogs on this card, man. From Floyd Diaz to motherfucking man, we got some dogs, man. Fucking Keyshawn Davis, Armani Almastica, some dogs. They all dogs. But yeah, man. It's a couple fights I didn't talk about. But yeah, I feel like they wasn't attention grabbers, so I ain't talk about them. But if the card come on and they do start grabbing attention, I'll talk about them in my fight night recap video. But yeah, that was that ESPN card. All right, let's get into another card I want to talk about. It's going to happen over the weekend. But this fight is going to be on Saturday, September 24th in Manchester, England on ESPN Plus. It's going to be between Joe Joyce and Joseph Parker. It's going to come on at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. 2 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a Frank Warren promotion. I don't know if Bob Arum is going to be a part of that, but I do know it's a Frank Warren promotion. It's going to be on ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus. Usually everything on ESPN is Bob Arum, but I didn't want to just throw his name in there, and I wasn't sure. All right? But let's jump into it. The main event is between Joe Joyce and Joseph Parker. It's a 12-round contest at heavyweight. Heavyweight is the big boys. Joe Joyce is 14-0 with 13 KOs. 37 years of age. He's an orthodox style fighter. He stands at 6'6" with an 80-inch reach. He's from the UK. His last fight was a 7th round KO win versus Christian Hammer when Hammer was 27-9, and that fight transpired July of this year, 2022. A key opponent Joe Joyce has, I say, is a 10th round KO win versus Daniel Dubois when Dubois was 15-0, and that fight transpired November of 2020. Yeah, he ended up stopping Dubois. I guess Dubois had something, wrong with his eye after Joe Joyce hit him in it, and he couldn't continue. That was an impressive win for Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is a 2016 Olympic silver medalist at super heavyweight for Great Britain. Hold on. Okay, my bad, man. All right, let's get back into it. Okay, where was I? Joe Joyce, he's a 2016 Olympic silver medalist at super heavyweight for Great Britain. I believe that's where I was at. All right, let's get to his opponent, Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker is 30-2 with 21 KOs, 30 years of age. He's an orthodox style fighter, stands at 6'4" with a 76-inch reach. He's from New Zealand. His last fight was a unanimous decision win versus Derek Chisora when Chisora was 32-11, and that fight transpired December of 2021. I was looking at Joseph Parker record for key opposition. I just came across his losses. They were back-to-back losses. The first being against Anthony Joshua and the second one being against Dillian White. They both were unanimous decision losses versus both those guys. And both of those guys are, upper echelon and heavyweight, so that's nothing to be ashamed of. Losing to, Dillian White or Anthony Joshua. All right, quick prediction. I feel like Joe Joyce, man, he's different, man. Daniel Dubois I thought was different. And how he did Daniel Dubois, as I talked about, that opened my eyes, toward Joe Joyce. And he's a Olympian. I feel like he just gonna have a little bit, a little extra, little few more tools in his toolbox than Joseph Parker. And he just got a little extra, a little bit more oomph on him than Joseph Parker, man. In my opinion, I feel like Joe Joyce gonna get the job done. I can see a unanimous decision win for Joe Joyce, man. I can even see Joe Joyce getting rid of Joseph Parker later on in the fight. I say a 10th round, 11th round KO for Joe Joyce, man. If not a unanimous decision. All right, let's get to the undercard Well, I'm not gonna talk about the whole undercard. I'm just gonna talk about the co-main. The undercard was kind of, lackluster. It must be, it got something to do with the zone because it looked very DAZN-ish, But yeah, I'm just gonna talk about the co-main, man. I ain't gonna talk about none of the undercard, just the co-main. All right, the co-main is a 10-round contest of featherweight. Featherweight is 126 pounds. If you did know, it's between Amanda Serrano and Sarah Meffold. It's for the WBC, WBO, and the IBF titles at 126 pounds. All right. Amanda Serrano is 42-2 with 1 draw, 30 KOs, 33 years of age. She's a southpaw. She stands at 5'5.5" with a 65.5-inch reach. What the fuck I'm talking about? She's from Puerto Rico. Her last fight was a split decision loss versus Katie Taylor when Katie Taylor was 20-0, and that fight transpired April of 2022. Amanda Serrano, I was looking at her record for key opposition. She has a lot of key opposition. She didn't fought the who's who, at her weight. But I have to say, man, Katie Taylor, man, it don't get no bigger than, her last fight against Katie Taylor for women boxing, man. That was one of the, biggest fights for women boxing I've seen and, that's probably ever been put on, man. So I'll say her last, fight was her key fight. But, yeah, man, she's a dog, man. But, all right, let's get to her opponent, Sarah Meffold. Sarah Meffold is 11-0 with 3 KOs. She's 32 years of age. She's an orthodox style fighter. She's from Denmark. Her last fight was a unanimous decision win versus Nina Miko, who was 12-2. And that fight transpired April of 2022 this year. I was looking at Sarah Meffold record for key opposition. She has no key opposition. Amanda Serrano will be her key opposition, man. And if she can pull off this feat of beating Amanda Serrano, it will put her on the map, So, it's a tall task, but, it will be, you'll get rewarded afterwards. So, wish you the best of luck. Yeah, man, more power to you. But I feel like Amanda Serrano is going to get the job done, man. I feel like she's going to probably get rid of this girl. I'd say 7th, 8th round KO for Amanda Serrano, or TKO. Let's give him a TKO. And, yeah, man, going to get rid of her and get back to her winning ways. Like I said, this card really wasn't nothing to write home about. The Joe Joyce and Joseph Parker fight is a good fight. The Amanda Serrano, she's fighting an undefeated champion, trying to get, coming off her loss. So that's something good for her. So I feel like the card, those 2 fights, they're good fights, man. So check those fights out, man. I don't know about the rest of the card, but for sure, check those fights out. It comes on at 2 p.m. Eastern time, so that's early on in your day. You can check the fights out, then, go do what you do. Go about your day. Enjoy, a beautiful Saturday. But, yeah, man, it's a beautiful weekend of boxing, as I stated. The ESPN Plus, ESPN card with Shakur Stevenson. Then this card on ESPN Plus. Shakur Stevenson card is on Friday. This on Saturday. So you got boxing on both days, man. And, you ain't got nothing on Sunday, but you got it on Friday and Saturday. So you can, kick back and enjoy. But, yo, like, comment, subscribe. All that shit, people. Rise World of Boxing. Yeah.